he wants to take it?
Yes, we originally was naive. We thought, we've got all these pages. There's plenty of brands who'll want to advertise with us, because they want $1 million, we'll charge you. And as we spoke to different brands, we realised it's not as straightforward as that. But we were always really good at pivoting. So what we did was we created a website, and that was in the era of it's crass, but it was the clickbait era. Before all the fake news come out and all that, it was when you could have 50 adverts on a page and it would be yielding on Google, and there was companies offering you those horrible links at the bottom. It's like 30 ways to lose weight and all those kind of links, and you click it. And so we originally made a website for that, and it was to use our sport following. It was articles that were things like top 10 footballers' cars and top 10 footballers' wives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was the day
a bit like BuzzFeed.
Yes, exactly that. Yeah, it was copying pretty much them to tailor to our audience. And we obviously did that for a spell, but we knew it couldn't last forever, stuff like that. We knew that at some point time would move on, and at that point when Facebook again was starting to become like the meme heaven, and we thought with these sport pages, like mine was a parody of a football manager, like that's not long term, you can't do that for the rest of the time. We didn't know if it potentially were ever going to turn around with image rights and get, I don't know if you ever got sued for being a parody, I don't know, stuff like that. So that was when we aligned to make a general brand, so we could take the next step, and that was when we launched It's Gone Viral on Facebook and Twitter. And that allowed us just to initially make the memes and the GIFs and things like that, but it allowed us to use other people's viral clips with obviously permission and such. And it allowed us to do anything with a name like that.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Like, so that's what year was this, by the way?
So that would have been 2016, moving into 2017, I believe. Yeah.
Why did you decide to transition to Facebook and not stay on Twitter?
I think Twitter even back then had started to level out a little bit. There was times when you could make new accounts, parodies, have 30, 40,000 followers overnight, and we started to see that tail off a little bit. And I think they changed the system from retweets to likes being more powerful, so suddenly your content wasn't reaching as many people. And then it was when large players on Facebook, like your Lad Bibles, your Unilad, people like that, their pages were just rocketing on Facebook, and it was like, now's the time to do it, when they were already big, but there was space to still be there. Like if you was to launch a page now, it's a much slower grind.
Obviously we'll get into what works now and like how you can do it now. But at that stage in time, I remember Lad Bible especially, like, and a lot of these other pages. I remember being like, when I first followed Lad Bible, it was actually quite like misogynistic at the beginning. But I mean, whatever. It's for them to deal with. But I remember at the beginning, like they exploded, and then I just thought they were like a meme page. But then, like as time went on, they became an actual like brand. And they hire people. They've got an office. Like it's an actual brand. So, like, how much money was in that space?
Well, it was a lot, and especially when we were, like I say, making money off the articles, which was okay, from a website with adverts on. It was doing okay. It was paying up to. We had a writer, we had someone making the videos in between, 1 or 2 staff, and then I think Facebook got to a point where they followed within the YouTube trail of the. We got a message one day saying you can now monetize your videos.
This was 2017.
Yeah, I think the early players got access. We got it a little bit later, 2018 maybe. Well, it must have been 2018 onwards. And at that point, when we started to see the returns, like you suddenly put out this longer video that had 2 or 3 adverts in, and if it went viral, and you see thousands of pounds come back, and it's like.
And bear in mind, like this wasn't even your video; it was like from someone else that you like obviously like got permission from. But they let you post it on your page.
Yeah.
That's just like mind blowing to me, because like for YouTube, right? Like it's all original content more or less. And if it's not, it usually gets copyright strikes. Right? Even if you got permission. So with this, the reason why it just blows my mind is that people were making thousands of pounds per video, and it wasn't even their stuff.
I think with Facebook, they got wise to it, but a little bit later than probably expected. Because part of the It's Gone Viral network, we were also running a few comedy pages. And that was using, again, copyrighted stuff, but it was a bit. But we thought this won't last. It took them a while, and then they introduced something called Rights Manager, But it was almost after the horse had bolted, and suddenly they were just clicking a button saying, "Go and claim every video on Facebook," and it just exploded. Because as a creator, you could have this rights manager. It's like the same as the YouTube one, but Facebook introduced it after, like say, after the sea had opened. So
people have already made like a decent amount of money.
Yeah, and there was no way of retrospectively taking that money back either. You'd got it, you'd banked it, you'd looked after it. And then, there was rights manager, and then it was during the pandemic again. Facebook, they hid a little bit behind. They started to call it limited originality.
Yeah.
You have to start making your own content now. But it was in the March of the pandemic when the economy had exploded, so they took adverts off, and that was a few emergency board meetings on a Monday morning, like all remote working from home. But so then at that point is when we started to make our own content, essentially.
Yeah. Before that though, and like obviously you can give me brackets, not exact values, but like how much was the page and the pages you were managing sort of like making?
6 figures.
They're making 6 figures what, like
a month?
A month.
Yeah, in its peak, yeah. If you had one particular video as well, like one that'd be over 3-4 minutes long, and some of them, when they go viral, Facebook had a watch system that if it had a good watch time, it would put it into people's recommended watch feed.
Yeah.
So it just appear everywhere. If you had a video that got like 40-50 million views, you were just like quids in. And from a business point of view, you're using obviously video editors, either freelance or in-house, to make one video.
Yeah.
You're paying them the flat fee. They was not on any kind of profit share, so the markup was insane. That's why so many like our company, like other companies, just exploded on. You can suddenly if we get 6 video editors, on X, and suddenly you're making XX. It's so it was a crazy time, and I say we had a 3-4 man office. So we'll get back onto that afterwards.
So 6 figures per month, was it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and it's obviously not initially, but I'd say at its peak before the pandemic, it was crazy like that.
And they weren't even your own content, it was just like through other people.
No, and
that's just mad to me.
And obviously the ways of getting around making stuff original is big in the industry, is having someone commentate on it. So if you've got a creator that, like those reaction videos where, again, it's ticking Facebook's boxes. Facebook said if you had a voiceover, if you had a commentator, if you had a summariser on there, it was classed as media, it's classed as journalism.
Yeah.
And there was just so many different ways around it. And because Facebook / Meta are so it's hard to explain. Like the mafia is the wrong word, but you couldn't reach them sometimes, so you just have to guess and go for it. And if you ever did have an issue, they just reply and say, read the guidelines. So there was lines in the guidelines that how to make stuff journalistic, so that's what we did.
I just find that so mental. You can't do that these days though. Like you can't make that level of money from Facebook videos these days.
It definitely dipped when the economy dipped, and Facebook, especially Meta, he's going through a bit of a weird time, isn't it, with all the staff layoffs, and even when I kind of back end of my tenure at Comey, I think 3 partner managers had moved on, that kind of thing. So I can't speak now because I'm not under the hood anymore. But you see these pages now, you still see them getting healthy views. So yeah.
What was this sort of like the biggest video that you guys put out?
I think there was one on our page called Ultimate was toenails being from a pedicure company. It was ingrowing toenails being like picked out,
right?
And it was horrible. It was that gross, but its watch time, Peter say it was like a 3-4 minute video. On average, over a minute was watched by people. So it was like the grossness really worked, and that I think. Because one of the girls who did that video, she always took the crown as that was the biggest video Comey had.
How much would that video make? Like if that was that big, like how many views would it get?
I think that would add over 100 million.
Damn.
Yeah, which.
So how much would that 100 million views translate into?
I think 50, 60, 70k. You'd be. I think.
Just for one video.
Yeah, I might have that wrong, but But as the time goes by, and it can all depend on the CPMs, because sometimes you can have a video do really well, but it will show in countries like the Philippines and things. They give you a really low advertising rate. But if your video bangs is the terminology of doing well, in the UK or the US particularly, then the rates can go through the roof. So
because I remember